Debt is often viewed as a double-edged sword. It can make you incredibly wealthy or completely ruin your financial life. But here's the thing. The rich know how to use debt to their advantage. While most people see debt as a burden, the wealthy treat it as a tool to grow their empires and avoid paying taxes. In this video, we'll reveal the secret strategies the rich use to turn debt into wealth, and how you can use these same principles to fuel your financial success. Number 1. How the rich built empires using debt. Rockefeller story. Let's take a journey back to the 1800s, where John D. Rockefeller, the richest American to ever live, built his empire. You might be surprised to know that Rockefeller wasn't born into wealth. He was the son of a farmer and dropped out of high school. His real journey began when he borrowed just $1,000 from his father to start a small agricultural commodity trading business. Now back then, $1,000 was a huge sum of money, but it was the stepping stone Rockefeller needed. Within just 2 years, he was making $17,000 in profits, an enormous sum for that time. But it didn't stop there. Rockefeller saw an opportunity in the oil industry, which was just starting to boom. Instead of following the crowd, he innovated. He used gasoline instead of coal for kerosene production and manufactured barrels in-house, cutting costs significantly. His success earned him the trust of lenders, and they offered him favorable terms. He used this debt strategically to acquire smaller competitors, eventually creating a near monopoly in the oil industry. By 31, he was a millionaire, and his company, Standard Oil, was refining 90% of all the oil in the United States. The key takeaway? Rockefeller always paid off his debts on time, but he never hesitated to borrow when there was an opportunity for growth. Debt wasn't something to be afraid of. It was his tool for building an empire. Number 2. The rich don't live off their salaries. Elon Musk's secret. Now let's fast forward to the present day. We've all heard about the lavish lifestyles of billionaires like Elon Musk, but did you know that many of them don't even take a salary? Elon Musk famously tweeted in 2021, "I only have stock, so the only way for me to pay taxes is to sell stock." This tweet is a goldmine of information. Musk doesn't take a salary. Instead, he lives off the debt he borrows against his stock. Here's the genius behind that. When you borrow against stock, you don't have to pay taxes on the loan. It's still money you can spend, but since it's debt, you aren't taxed on it. It's essentially a free pass to live a luxurious lifestyle without losing your valuable assets. And that's not all. By not selling his Tesla stock, Musk avoids capital gains tax, meaning he gets to keep his wealth growing. When the time comes to pay back the debt, he simply takes out another loan, and the cycle continues. The rich know how to play the system, and borrowing money is a big part of that. 3. Real estate, the wealth machine. The rich don't just borrow money for stocks, they do it for real estate, too. While most people are focused on paying off their mortgage, the wealthy borrow money to buy multiple properties. Here's the trick. They don't even live in these homes. Instead, they rent them out, using the rental income to cover the mortgage payments. In fact, even billionaires like Elon Musk borrowed $61 million to buy real estate in California, even though he could have paid in cash. Why borrow when you can pay up front? Because debt offers a tax advantage. Let's say you buy a property worth $1 million. You borrow 80% from the bank and raise 20% from investors. Your expenses for debt repayment and maintenance come to $120,000 a year. But if you rent out the property for $140,000 a year, you're making $20,000 in profit without spending a dime of your own money. And because of depreciation, a tax deduction for the wear and tear on the property, you can reduce your taxable income to almost zero. So the rich generate tax-free income from real estate by using debt smartly. 4. Leveraged buyouts, buying companies with debt. Another powerful strategy the wealthy use is called a leveraged buyout, LBO. This is when a company is acquired using a significant amount of borrowed money. Elon Musk's acquisition of Twitter is a great example. Instead of paying for Twitter out of his own pocket, Musk borrowed $13 billion to finance the deal. And guess what? The debt was secured by Twitter's assets, not his personal wealth. This strategy limits the risk for Musk. If Twitter fails, Musk's personal assets remain safe, and the lenders can only recover the loan from Twitter's assets. This kind of borrowing lets the rich make bold business moves while protecting their wealth. The lesson here? Strategic borrowing allows you to take big risks without risking your financial future. 5. Creating liquidity through debt. Let's talk about another billionaire, Mukesh Ambani, chairman of Reliance Industries. In 2023, Ambani borrowed $5.5 billion to fund the rollout of 5G technology in India. Now, keep in mind that Ambani's net worth is over $80 billion, and he could have easily funded the project himself. So why borrow? Because the rich know how to create liquidity through debt. They prefer to keep their assets, like real estate and stocks, intact while borrowing money for new ventures. This allows them to seize new business opportunities without having to sell off their prized assets. In Ambani's case, borrowing for the 5G rollout lets him keep his assets secure while benefiting from the future profits of this game-changing technology. 6. Inflation, a friend to the wealthy. Here's another secret the rich know. Debt helps them beat inflation. Mark Zuckerberg, for instance, took out a house mortgage in 2012 with an interest rate of just 1.05%. Why would a billionaire take out a mortgage? Because paying off a loan over 30 years allows the borrower to benefit from inflation. Over time, the real value of the money you owe decreases, while your investments grow at a higher rate than the interest on the debt. By taking on debt at a low interest rate, Zuckerberg kept his money invested in high-return opportunities, while his debt becomes less significant in inflation-adjusted terms. This strategy allows the wealthy to maximize their capital and profit from long-term growth. Use debt wisely. As you've seen, debt is not something to fear, it's a tool. The rich use debt to their advantage, growing their wealth while minimizing taxes and risk. By understanding these strategies, you too can learn how to leverage debt to achieve financial success. Remember, it's not about avoiding debt. It's about using it wisely.